What's going on, guys? This is Phil with Local Vape Distribution and Team Anarchist West Coast. Today we have a real simple video on how to install pre-made coils. This is a video for beginners or people that are not used to this. If this is something you've done before or build your own coils, you might want to watch one of our other videos. Okay, so today we're going to be installing these Squid Dude pre-made coils that we sell online at localvape.com. And we also wholesale them to our wholesale customers. This is 2 strands of Anarchist 24 gauge wire, and it's fused Clapton with 36 gauge twisted messes wire. So let's dive in there and get this done. All right, guys, just a quick close-up. This is the coils that I'm using. Okay, and this is what they look like. Okay, so first of all, what you're going to do is just install your first coil. Okay, then at that point what I will do is I will tighten down my center screw to keep it in place, and I'll tell you why I'm doing this. I'll show you. Okay, now that that's tightened, what I just did was I secured that first coil where it's going to end up. Okay, and the reason I did that was because now I'm going to clip this lead, and I'll show you why I'm going to do that right after. Okay, so what I'll do is clip this lead right down at the base of the post. Okay, so now the reason I cut that lead at the post here was because I'm about to take this coil out and do the same thing to the second coil. So that way when I install them both, I don't have to move the coil, bend it up to cut the lead once they're both installed. Okay, so remove this, take this out, and do the second one. Now, for instance, just to show you, if I did not cut that lead, when I install the second coil, as you can see, it has a long lead here, so I would have had to have moved the coils around to get to that bottom one to snip it. Okay, let's take the first one out that I already cut. Let's do the same thing again. Tighten down the center screw. It doesn't have to be tight, just snug. Okay, and then clip the lead right at the post. Okay, that makes for a much easier install. Okay, so now that we have both the middle leads cut, I'm ready to install the second coil. So we'll open this all the way up. Just put this right in there. And for those of you that do not know, this is a tugboat RDA, and I prefer to use this for most builds because it's just simple and it's easy. Alright, so now that both leads are cut, it sits in there perfectly. There's nothing, no excess that we have to cut, so I'm just going to tighten down the center screw. Okay. Now if these move on you, what you can do is just hold them both with one finger, like this. Just kind of get them in position there, and then go back in and screw them. Now when I tighten down my posts, I get them till they're snug. I don't tighten them down a lot until the very end. Okay, so the center one's tight, as you can see. Now what I'll do is check both coils here and make sure they look even. They look good. So what I'm going to do is just tighten down both your side screws. And again, tighten them down nice and snug, but don't crank them down yet. So now that I have my side screws tightened, all I'm gonna do is just clip the side leads now. So just clip them as close to the base as you can get. Okay. Now, if your leads are hanging over a little bit, like this one here, all I do is take my pliers or wire cutters and just bend it up. Okay. Do the same to this side. Just bend it up. Super simple. Okay. So now at this point, what I'll do is just put a screwdriver or anything you have that fits inside the coil without moving them, and just pull them out slightly away from the base. Okay. And push them over slightly. All you're really doing is just position them where you want. Okay. So I'll do the same to the other side. Just slightly bringing them out away from the post. Push it over a tiny bit. You're not going to move it much, but now that I have my coils positioned where I want them, all I'm going to do is just gently tap this. And when you start to heat your coils, I just go for like 1 to 2 second bursts, and that allows the heat to transfer through the entire coil. And if you notice your coil starting to get super orange here on one side, for instance, all you're going to do is just kind of lay off the button, and what I'll do is just take a pair of pliers, just kind of gently press them together, or you can take the back side of any pliers or anything and just kind of scrape your coils like this. All you're really doing is just kind of moving them together. So let's see how we look here. So we're looking pretty even on these. Alright, I'm happy with those, so I'm not going to mess with those anymore. At this point, what I'll do is take my screwdriver and just kind of make sure these screws are nice and tight. Okay, and there you have it, guys. It's as simple as that. The main thing you want to remember to do, and this is what works best for me, is when you're installing the coils, install them one at a time and clip the center leads, so that way when you have them both in there and you tighten down your center screw, you're not having to move those around or fumble around to clip that bottom lead that protrudes out on each side. Alright, now that we have the cotton in it, we're just going to add some juice and see how it vapes. Vaping Dynamite. The flavor is Fuse. Also available at localvape.com. See? Alright, it's looking good. Let's try it out. Huge vapor protection from these coils. Any Fuse Clapton really, but Squid Dude does a really, really good job. Let's try this again. Thanks for watching, guys. Again, this is Phil with Local Vape Distribution in Team Anarchist West Coast.